Hello.
Hiya. Look, more stuff.
Goodies.
More stuff.
What have we got this time?
We're doing a lot of this. We are trying to get out on bikes.
Yeah.
Just having time to do it. This is...
Well, we have just done 1,000 miles around Scotland.
Yeah, we did, yeah. Which was awesome. So much so, we're booked up for next year.
We have, already.
Anyway, look at this. This is a Techalogic DC2 Pro.
Yeah, and we did the first one, didn't we?
We did the very first one. And Steve, is it Steve?
Yeah, Steve from Techalogic.
Innovv and all that.
Are you all right?
I can't get it out, can I?
But look at that. Look at the presentation in the box. I think it's really good.
It's upside down.
So you can see the camera. Yeah, but you can see the camera.
You can, yeah.
Just, you have put it in the wrong way, but you've got a little window that you can see the camera. And this DC2 Pro is the upgraded version from the DC1, isn't it?
It is a forward and rear facing camera.
Yeah. And I don't think it's competing with the action camera world.
No.
Because the footage, the stabilisation isn't as great as something like a GoPro or Insta360, you know, that sort of stuff. But it has got some stabilisation in it. It's 2K. I think it's 2K. Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
What does it say? Look, 2K.
Yeah, it's got a chipset of a Taiwan Novatech. Sensor is the Sony IMX307, so it's got a good sensor in it.
And sleep. When you wake up, you won't remember this conversation.
Oh, people like this sort of stuff.
Do they?
Yeah. Dual 150-degree viewing field for both of the cameras. Aperture is f1.8. That's good, isn't it?
Apparently.
You can have dual full HD 1080p at 30 frames per second, or dual full HD 1080p at 60 frames per second, which has got preset in brackets. Or you can have a dual QHD 2K 30 FPS,
so you don't know what
or
it is,
single full HD 1080p 60 FPS. You can record in TS or MP4. Photos are JPEG, which is really good. The battery is 1920 milliamps. Memory card maximum of 128 gigs. Takes 5 volt or a 2 amp. And it's only 104 kilos, so it's not an awful lot to add to your...
104 kilos?
Oh, grams.
Grams.
104 grams. I mean,
the Eagle comes as extra.
Yeah. But it's good because it's got loads of features. It's unique patented design in the market because it's got the front and the back. And the way that it's designed is that it fits on your helmet or wherever, but the camera at front looks at front, camera at back looks at back, but it's angled, so when it's on the helmet, it's actually level. It's not looking down at the ground, which is really good. And this is the only camera that I've seen that does it. There may be knockoffs that do it, but these are the only people that are properly doing it.
Yeah, and it has a GPS.
It's got GPS, 4 hours high battery duration on dual record, so that's quite good.
Yep.
Type-C charging port, so everything's up to date with everything else. It's got a fatigue driving vibrating alert. Does that mean that the camera gets tired of being on your helmet, or you get tired? Don't know. Smart auto sleep wake function to save power, which is good, so that you can have it as a dash cam, can't you, if you wanted to. Wi-Fi, so that you can connect it to the app on your mobile. Optional wireless remote control, which I'm not sure is in the box. And an optional GPS function to record the speed and route, and that is with it, I think, isn't it?
The remote is in there as well.
Is it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, shall we see what's in the box then?
I see what you say about put the box around the put it around the wrong way.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We haven't opened it before. We have to do the box. I'll move all this stuff out of the way in case.
Well, these are the extras that we've been sent for it.
You become overcome by the smell.
Oh yeah. But what I do like about it is that if you'd have put the box on the right way, Mark, you would have been able to see it through the box. I quite like that. I quite like that. Imagine that being on a shelf. You can actually see what you're buying, which I think is
imagine.
Great. But I know people say really strange things about me with boxing, but this is the first feel that you have of a product, and if it's rubbish, it's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But this is, I mean, that's like opening a new iPhone.
I've got some serious issues here.
I was told that there was going to be such a nice smell in here. Shall we come back later?
I hope not.
That's really nice. Anyway.
Oh, I do like that bit. That's
Yeah, I like that.
No.
I like that. I like the fact that you can take stuff out and it's all moulded. Whether that's all recyclable, I don't know. For all of you people out there that
Look,
aren't
watch.
really worried about that.
Look, okay.
No, that is nice.
Like a bellows.
Yeah, so it is nice.
How things have changed.
Oh, that does smell nice.
Like a cigar, that looks like,
Yeah.
for those who smoke.
Oh.
Oh, don't go there.
Imagine the filming you get on there. Right, what do you get in the box? We know we get the camera. We'll have a look at that in a minute.
I'll open this then, shall I?
Open that. Move that to one side. So this is like being on Blue Peter, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And
Only a very crude version.
I didn't break the box, by the way.
Are you sure?
I'm positive, absolutely positive. Done.
There's a lot in there.
There is a lot in there.
Right. What do you get in this one then? Oh, look at that. Now this is good. You get a bag, drawstring bag, so you can keep everything in, keep your camera in when it's not on there. That's quite nice.
It's
quite furry inside.
Those
actually.
of you who've got kids and grandkids will know that is a quiet bag when you go to a cinema or something, they put their sweets in.
Oh, do you know? If I had the money, I would make a cinema that you weren't allowed to eat, speak, drink, or anything. And I would also make it so that everybody had their own headphones, so you don't have to put up with people crunching right next to you.
You've never been to a Peruvian cinema, honestly, where they're on their phone videoing the film they're watching whilst ordering food and eating it, and it's just horrendous. Anyway.
You get a cleaning cloth, which is really nice soft cleaning cloth, and then you get the user manual, which we'll keep there because we may need to refer to it later.
Manuals.
Right, what else do we get?
Manuals.
What's in here, Mark?
That's the remote thing.
Is it? No, that's
a chest strapper for bra strap.
Oh, that's the pants. Do you remember on the last one? You put one leg in there, and that's next to your nether region, so you can do a penis point of view.
Fantastic.
No, it's not. It's that's to go, I think, on a cycling helmet or a helmet of some sort, isn't it? Goes in and out the.
I think so, yeah.
In and out of the runs that go on top of your head, so then you can put the camera on there. It's really good. It's really good that they provide this all in one go, because it's not just a motorcycle camera. It's for horse riders and a whole host of different people, isn't it?
Yeah, it's aimed at the equestrian world as well. Now you get GoPro stuff.
Yeah.
GoPro-like stuff.
GoPro, I would say GoPro-like stuff, but it does look vaguely similar.
Similar.
Yeah, similar. But yes, you get a curved mount and a flat mount, exactly the same sort of thing as you would get from GoPro. You get two sticky mounts which aren't stuck on it, which is good.
Yeah.
Because GoPros all come stuck on it. And hang on, that is authentic 3M pads. There's something about the smell of these. Upon first sniff, there's something about. You smell it?
Odd.
Smell it. There's something about that.
Oh, that's amazing. Anyway, you get
it's
that
incredible.
look. And screws.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can get therapy, you know.
I'm sure you can. It costs a lot of money though. I'd rather just sit there sniffing 3M tape.
You weirdo. Bizarrely enough, I now have Betty the Wonder Dog licking my knee under the table.
Well, this is only.
So you get a charging cable, USB to. What's that?
USB-C.
USB-C, and a little waterproof cover for it, which is
That's good.
very important.
Well, especially if you're doing it outside. Don't know how
That's
that
how
would.
it goes. We'll work that out. in a bit.
Because this thing you can charge as you're going along. Right, and this actually comes with that is the one, a GPS receiver. So that plugs into there, and then this then plugs into, presumably into the camera.
Yep.
So it will allow you to stick that somewhere, or have it on the person.
Somewhere where you can find it.
Yeah, which will, as long as it points to the sky, it'll be all right, and then it will give you your information on the video, much like a dash cam. But you also get a Velcro. That's interesting.
Sticky pad.
A Velcro sticky pad.
I love Velcro.
as well as, hang on, 3M. Hasn't got the same sort of smell, that 3M. But yeah, you get the GPS unit with a Velcro patch, which is good.
Have a
It's
smell.
just
No,
weird.
have a smell. Smells like my socks.
Ugh.
That's the helmet bit. That's the cod piece.
Yeah, they're the pants, aren't they? Oh wow, how cool is that? So you could have your pants on like that.
Amazing, mate.
So Techalogic
Your
have
mind
thought of
works in
everything.
very, very weird
Not
ways.
only can you record what's going on, but if you've gone on holiday and you're on the beach and
One of
you've
those
forgotten
special
your
beaches.
G-string, you can wear that. Have a camera stuck on the front.
But look at that on the back of the elastic. Look, they've got that rubberized stuff. Don't know if you can
That's
see
good.
that very well. That stops it slipping on your helmet.
Yeah.
Right.
You dirty people.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, then we get the camera. Do you think that's metal or do you think that's plastic?
It's lighter than the other one.
Yeah.
I think it's possibly a carbonate of some sort, polycarbonate.
Does it say anything on the box about what it's made of?
No. Not that I've seen.
No, it doesn't. It feels like metal, but it also doesn't feel like metal, if that makes sense. It feels like metal, but it doesn't. Makes no sense whatsoever. It's not as heavy or as twangy.
Twangy.
Yeah, twangy. Yeah.
As in the widow twangy. Oh, no, that's a pantomime, isn't it? Right, so what have you got on the camera? What have we got on the camera here? We have
The on-off.
on a ON/OFF button.
Yeah,
we
with
have
the wireless control on there as well.
Yep. We have a SD card port, which has a waterproof cover.
Yeah.
And on the other side, we have the USB-C charging panel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so that top one is the key button. Long press for 3 seconds to turn it on and off. That's
Right.
good. Short press once to start and stop recording. So that's good. So there's only three things you need to remember, because the fast short press twice turns the Wi-Fi on. So long hold, turn it on, long hold, turn it off, short press, start, short press, stop, and then short press twice turns the Wi-Fi on and off.
cool.
On and off. Oh, it's got a load of LEDs as well, actually. Where are those LEDs? Oh, they're actually in the black spot.
Must
So
be, yeah.
within you've got the button there, but within the square,
It tells you what it's doing.
must be like a little bit of not a screen, but you know, like a cover for the LED, so you can see the LED. So it tells you when it's charging, when the battery LED is green, charging is red, recording LED is white. Then you've got the key button, and then you've got Wi-Fi LED, which is blue. So that's quite good, isn't it?
There's no charge in it, so that's fine. Once we plug it in,
Okay.
it'll be fine.
And it's got right. So that is there. Did you say about the SD slot?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. And the microphone. Right. Where's it saying the mic is? On that side, is it?
Must be just a hole.
Yeah. The mic. Ah, there we are. Right at the bottom, there's a tiny little hole. That's the microphone.
So that's going to be quite noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, that's fine.
Although I don't think, I mean, this sort of thing you could use for vlogging and that sort of thing, but I think if you were using this for vlogging, you'd have to have something to record the sound separately and then mix it in, because the sound, even though it's underneath here, if you're going along, the air is going to be whishing past that, and I think the sound's probably going to be quite loud on there, and probably not something you want to put on the video.
So
That's what the little rubber case.
on top of all this, you get all these different mounting things, mounting options.
Oh, yeah.
They come. Oh, just throw it
Chuck
away
them
now.
about.
Just chuck it about. So you get multi-directional one or an omnidirectional. Omni one, isn't it? Omni. So I'm sure somebody will tell us. This is the one I like. Look at that. Good, isn't it?
Oh, that's good.
So
So if you stuck that on the side of your helmet,
Yep.
like that, helmet's facing forward,
yep,
you can angle it in to get the shot that you want,
yep.
if you stuck it up on top of your helmet, you could angle the shot forward and backwards. And it would probably twist because there's a little screw in there, so you could twist that and get the angle exactly where you want, rather than having to change these adapters all the time.
So this one here,
Would you say that's a compression type mount?
if you tell me that's what it is,
I don't
then I would do that. But this, if you by pulling that lever up there, twist around like that, doesn't it? That's pretty cool.
Does it lock in one place then?
Yeah. When you pull that lever up.
Very smart.
Okay, so that has that option. Camera can go on there. That will go on the actual bike itself.
Yeah.
On one
And
of
then
our
the camera will go in
one
there,
of our
wouldn't
bars, and the camera fitted in something like this will clip in there.
Yeah.
And I like this about it's got the rubber bit there.
Oh, I wonder what that's for.
I didn't know because I nearly broke it to stop you damaging it.
Oh, that smells nice. The little rubber bit in the middle was something that GoPro brought out a long time ago because these were working themselves, not loose, but they were vibrating. So they put this rubber bit in the middle to stop those two bits vibrating. And Mark could not work out how to get the camera out of the bracket because that was in there. You can work it out. It's so funny.
I'm glad you thought it was hilarious.
So you said that you wanted to do something a little bit different than this rather than putting it on your helmet, didn't you?
I'm going to fit it on the bike.
Okay.
And this is how I'm going to do it.
Ah, because in there is the rubber piece that fills up on your bar.
You get different sizes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it just slots in.
There's a big bit on the top
What, that circle?
Yeah, to fit inside so it doesn't move.
Yeah.
So that will go on the bar of the bike. The camera's going to go in there, and then we can adjust it as required.
So just before we head out onto the road and show you what the quality, both forward and rear, of this really good camera, this DC2 Pro from Techalogic, I wanted to just talk to you about how you can mount it on your helmet. So it comes in the pack with, if I can get in, this here, this mounting plate, which is almost like a GoPro. Comes with this mount that comes off it, that's screwed onto it, so you can twist it that way and that way, but there's a little screw in there so you don't want to ruin the teeth. Then you've got this 90-degree angle changer, and then the circle that you put your camera in. But see how close you can get that to your camera, to your helmet, sorry. Now that's no further out than a GoPro. In fact, a GoPro would sit somewhere like that. So in actual fact, you can get it really quite close to your helmet. And not only that, as you're riding along, you can angle it. Now obviously I've not tightened these bolts purely so that I can show you how versatile it is. So you can move it about, move it in and out if you wanted to. You could have it out really far if you wanted to, or really close. You get your angle right, and of course, because this is a clasp around the circle, you can also get the horizontal leveling right. So I think it's really quite versatile. You can get some extra mounts, which are really big clamp mounts, but they're extra to the package. But in the box itself, you get everything that you see there. Now we're going to mount it on the top purely so that we can allow you to focus on the quality of the film or the footage, both forward and backwards, rather than focusing on where you put it, because on some helmets you're going to put them closer to the front, further to the back, and you might get some of your helmet in there, and we didn't want that to detract from the quality of the footage. So we're going to mount it on the top and take it for a ride and see what happens.
Now you've seen us unbox it. This is the Techalogic DC2 Pro. Look at this. If I spin this around rather than you spinning, Mark, how funky does that look?
It looks really nice.
So this is like, I won't talk about all the specs because I'll put them up. I think we talked about the specs when we unboxed it. Right, so it's got one button and you press it and you get a vibration. Now the vibration goes through the helmet, so you know whether you've got it on and off. And on the top it's got various different coloured LEDs. One's for the Wi-Fi, the battery, it'll tell us when it's recording in a minute. And
you can also
There's more.
well, you can also get loads of different contraptions to put it on your helmet or wherever you want to put it on.
We actually did it on a bike. Tried it on a bike.
And this is billed as almost like a dash cam, but like a helmet cam for horse riders, motorcyclists, whole host of different people. But they also do a GPS.
Look at that.
Yeah. Now the GPS has got a USB-C connection, and it's got a really good connection in there to the wiring. It's waterproof, so I'm not going to stick it anywhere because that needs to have power, and then this needs to go into the camera. So we've picked a day where there's no rain, so I'm going to plug it in, and then
really good waterproof connections on there, aren't they?
yeah, so I'm going to have to put that in my helmet somewhere or do something with it while I'm riding. Might even sit there for a little bit and then plug that in while I'm riding. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the stabilisation, the quality of the camera, because what I really like about it is the way that I've got it set up on my helmet. It looks a little bit like a Mohican. My
Forkhead.
my Techalogic fork head Mohican. But if you imagine the helmet sits like that, the fact that the camera is filming forward, but it's also filming backwards, they've actually thought about it by putting that angle, so you're going to pick up everything behind you, which is really, really good. So we're going to go for a bit of a ride. So we're going to see what the quality is like based upon, well, in comparison to the quality of the camera that I'm using. And the camera that I'm using on the front of the helmet is a Insta360 One RS. So I usually film at like 2K on that one. Now, I put in the card all of the tech specs of the DC2 Pro, but the thing that I wanted to talk to you about and reason for riding it is so that we can get an idea as to what the image stabilization and the quality of the cameras are like. So I really like the fact that the camera is angled, and the DC1 that came out before, it's no different in terms of the size, I don't think, and the angle in which the cameras are set at. But what I really like about it is on the front camera it's pointing forward, and on the rear camera it is pointing forward and down a little bit, so the whole body is angled slightly so that it will allow you to see behind the bike or behind your head. So this camera, it's I wouldn't say it's billed as being an action camera, because I'm not sure that the quality is like an action camera type recording, much like a GoPro, that sort of thing. However, it's bridging the gap between a camera as a dash cam and an action camera. So you haven't got to have two things in order to do your videos or to record what's going on. So if you think you're on a horse and you really want to be able to record what's happening on your ride, any of those people going too close to them and all that sort of stuff, you know, frightening the horses and stuff, cyclists, motorcyclists, I mean, you could use it in your car as well if you wanted to, but it's a versatile camera, and they've sort of stuck to the GoPro sort of mounts. So you can use the mounts in a whole host of different places, different ways, different configurations to either have it on the top of your helmet, the side of your helmet. It comes with all the sticky mounts, as you've seen when we unboxed it. And it also comes with a couple of different mounts, one for your chest and your helmet, you know, that sort of thing. They look like pants. Look like you should be wearing pants with it clipped on the front. But any GoPro system, either the mounts or the struts, if that's what they're called, you know, the little bits that get you to be able to angle it in different places, you can use those. So I've chosen to fit it on the top of the helmet because even though the camera isn't that heavy or big, I wanted to get a feel. Oh, look up there, look, air ambulance. I wanted to get a feel for what it's like to ride with a camera that's so pronounced above your helmet. So the mount that comes with it has got a really good circular holder, if you like, that hugs around the camera and it clamps shut. So it is really secure.
clamps into the GoPro sticky mount, and they've also included within their kit one of those rubber bungs that bungs down to stop it vibrate, because there was an issue with GoPros quite a while ago with them vibrating in the mounts. So I've got it mounted up there, and I wanted to see what it's like, because even though the thing isn't that heavy, it's heavier than you would normally put, or I would normally put on my helmet. So first impressions are, I haven't really noticed the weight of it on my helmet. So I've just gone with the bog standard setting, and I think it's 60 frames per second on the front and 60 frames per second on the back. I've left it at its standard default settings and connected the app, which is really good. And what I'll do is I'll pull up the app in a couple of minutes. So the app is really good, actually. Really easy to connect to. So you basically turn the camera on. The camera then starts its own Wi-Fi network. You then find the Wi-Fi network on your phone and you connect to it. And the password is all default. I think it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, something like that. But it's all a default password. Once you put the default password in, you're connected. Then you go over to the app, and the app is called a Viidure. I don't know whether I'm saying that right, but I'll show you what the app looks like now. So when you open the app, it will, because you've turned the camera on, it automatically starts recording, which I think is really good, because some cameras you're really unsure whether it's recording. You see people riding along going, oh, I wonder whether it's recording, looking in the mirror to see if it's recording. But it starts recording automatically, and it's much like the Innovv system, although the settings screen that we'll go into now, the settings screen shows you all of the settings for the camera. So right down from naming the network, changing your password, which I would advise you to do. You can change all of the settings. You can change the frame rate, the resolution of the front and the back camera. You could turn the GPS off and on. There's a whole host of things you can do. Format the camera, update the camera, all those sort of stuff. Pretty standard, straightforward app, really. But on the main screen, it shows you the cameras. So you've obviously got two cameras there. One's smaller, one's bigger in terms of the display. And the smaller one tends to be the rear camera, although I think you can flip them around. So you can have on display on the app what you want. So that's really handy, because you can sit on your bike, turn the app on, have a look at the cameras, and make sure the cameras are set up in the configuration and angle that you need them to be, so that they actually record exactly what you want to record. And then I've just shut the app, put the phone in my pocket, and off we go for a ride. So I've got this camera set up to 3 minute intervals. So what it will do is you can set it to either 1, 3, 5 or 10, I think, something like that. But it's quite versatile in terms of the amount of time that you can have it set up and working. And what it will do is it will allow you to record your footage in bite-sized segments. So if something happens, you can then go back and review it. Now you can either download it through the app, or of course you can take out the SD card, put it in the computer and take the footage off that way, or you can of course plug the camera into a computer and you can access the camera's card that way. Now, to download a bit of footage from the app probably takes a good 1-2 minutes for a 1 minute, possibly 3 minute video clip, which isn't an awful lot of time. I just find it a lot easier with these cameras to take the SIM card out, chuck it in a computer, and then you're governed by the speed that the computer is accessing the card at, as opposed to being governed by the speed that the Wi-Fi is allowing you from the camera to be able to take the footage off. And bearing in mind, you know, the battery has got a good battery life. However, you don't want to be sat there for an hour trying to download footage onto your app or your phone for the battery to die. You can of course plug it into an external hard drive, and what I've got at the moment is I've got the GPS receiver plugged into the camera, and then that's plugged into the external power bank that I've got, and I've got it all tucked away in my jacket. Predominantly it's made for horse riders, cyclists, motorcyclists. I wouldn't say, like I said on the camera, I wouldn't say that it's an action camera, because the action camera, like the Insta360 One RS and the GoPros, they're made for the image stabilization and all of that sort of stuff to capture the image, but these are catching up really quickly. But this bridges a gap between having a really cheap camera that can't catch very much and a really expensive camera in general scheme of things that does, you know, pin sharp stuff that they use for TV and all that sort of stuff. Really good. So I had this set recording on a 3-minute cycle. It's got a microphone in there, and we'll put in a little bit of the microphone as we're riding and see how that sounds, because the microphone holes are on the actual device, and obviously the air's going over it, so you're not going to get that great a microphone sound on there, not as if you're using like mics that we're using or mics when we're riding around. The footage on the camera I think is really good. Now the stabilization on it is good enough, but obviously with my helmet being on my head, you're turning all the time, and it's up and down, up and down. And I think it deals mostly really quite well with the stabilization of the footage, but it's not going to be on the level of the stabilization you get with a GoPro or that Insta360 thing, because I don't know how those magicians do it, but in that tiny little thing, they haven't got that stabilization as well as those cameras. So the other thing that I would like to see in a Techalogic do is they provide you with the GPS. So this is added extras, because what they wanted was for people to be able to use the camera, and they've noticed that people want to be able to use the GPS functions so that they've got speed, that sort of thing, know exactly where they are. You can trace it on different maps, can't you, and probably on the app. But I know that they can't make the GPS unit any smaller, because it's, you know, it's got to have all that, I don't know, that jiggery pokery stuff inside. But what I would have liked to have seen is that cable being a bit longer. So you plug it into your camera, and that's the extent of the length of the wire.
So let's measure it, shall we?
Oh no.
So we're talking 9.5 inches.
Yeah. Now the connection is waterproof. It's a really nice connection. You can only plug it in one way and it screws together. This is all plastic, and it's the same GPS unit, I think, as you get on your Innovv dash cams for your bikes, that sort of stuff, and a whole host of, or plethora, abundance of other things. But on the helmet, if I have it here and I want that on there as well, I've got to plug that into either a power bank, which is what I did, or onto the bike. That's long enough.
The USB.
That's quite long, because there's USB on the front of the bike. But I'm wondering whether they could have made that a little bit longer, so you can stick it onto the helmet if that's what you wanted to do, and then put it into a pocket, because it's got to see the sky.
Well, it's long enough. It's long enough to go to stick on a helmet now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where it is.
But I wouldn't want that stuck on my helmet.
No, I wouldn't either.
As well as the camera and then the wires. It's all about neatness, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could have put it up inside, so you could put it up inside the helmet, but there's no real way to hide that wire, but the functionality is there. So, excuse me. But this comes with a whole host of different connections. You can buy these extras, and you also get your pants that we showed you. You get your pants, your helmet things. You know, I think it's a really good bridging the gap between spending lots and lots of money on something that you want predominantly just to record, set and forget, but have the ability to be able to lock files, to be able to get that last few minutes if something goes wrong, or some memories when you're out on your horse, bike, motorbike, whatever it might be.
So we like it.
I really like it. I think it serves a purpose. It's a really well-made camera. It works really well. And I said when I was riding around, that app really works well. So why don't you get yours with RCTV as your discount code in checkout? You get a discount.
Excellent.
See, you say that we don't give you anything, we give you loads. So thanks Techalogic, get yours, head over to their website, links everywhere, thumbs up, subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll catch you in the next video.